Pronunciation Dictionary, Module 6. In this module, we will discuss about Pronunciation Dictionary. It would be a nice learning experience for the learners if an online language learning portal is supported with a digital pronunciation dictionary, which is open for access in classroom and at home as one of the most useful reference guides for learning standard and acceptable pronunciation of words. With access to the dictionary, learners will learn to pronounce words in standard or acceptable form. In the era of online education, a digital resource of this kind has the potential to improve the traditional methods of language learning, while learners get opportunity to learn standard or accepted pronunciation with direct utilizations of modern computer technology in an interactive fashion with indirect assistance of language teachers. Learners will know how words are pronounced in acceptable manner when the orthography of words hardly matches with pronunciation. This dictionary will provide opportunity to the learners to understand how variations in pronunciation of words are caused due to variations in parts of speech and meanings of similar orthographic forms. Within online education, this dictionary can be highly useful for non-native and foreign learners as well as for the speakers of different dialects and regional varieties, because they will get good opportunities to explore, to learn the pronunciation of words considered standard and acceptable. Further applications of this dictionary may be visualized in speech recognition, text-to-speech conversion, language descriptions, and language planning. The theoretical and practical issues. Pronunciation coverage. Theoretically, since it is a pronunciation dictionary, it should include all possible pronunciation variables or varieties available for a word in the language. Standard, accepted, regional, local, dialectal, stylistic, community-based, informal, formal, etc. In practicality, it represents only the standard and accepted variety with good provision for further varieties, particularly formal and stylistic variations. Lexical coverage. Theoretically, it should cover the entire lexicon available in the language, including words of all origins like Persians, Tatsamo, Tadbhavo, Arabic, English, etc. because each and every word used in the language has a possibility to show pronunciation variation. Moreover, it should be open for global, gradual and regular upgradation and augmentation with new set of data. In practicality, it converts only limited vocabulary, say 100,000 words for instance, discards inflected forms, etc. And it has the possibility for regular upgradation, operational nature. Theoretically, it should be descriptive and referential, since a dictionary is meant for this. In practically, it is prescriptive and normative. It aims at guiding people for standard and accepted pronunciation as well as to teach new generation of learners the right and accepted pronunciation of words. Temporal dimension. Theoretically, it should be both diachronic and synchronic so that end users can know the earlier pronunciation and present pronunciation of words to form an idea how pronunciation of a word is changed over centuries or generations. In practicality, this is not possible for many languages as old speech data is not available from a language. Therefore, one has to depend on the present day speech data only. Pronunciation of words. Variation of pronunciation of words become one of the crucial issues in natural language when the language gradually evolves as an independent variety. This is manifested in the orthographic representations of words in old and new texts. In modern texts, it is found that many words show strikingly differences between their surface form and their pronunciations, as there is hardly any 1:1 mapping between orthography and pronunciation of characters used in formation of words. Gradually, a language is marked for having a large number of words which exhibit striking differences between their surface orthographic forms and their pronunciations. For instance, for a large number of Bangla words, the phenomenon of variation in pronunciation is a distinct phonological feature. This demands for special attention to trace the actual pronunciation of words based on their form, parts of speech, meaning, contexts of their usages. In a miserly count, there are nearly 25,000 Bangla words which may fall within this category where they show pronunciation variations. It is observed that the implicit reasons behind phenomenon of pronunciation variation of words are parts of speech, meanings, usages, besides other factors such as lexical ambiguity, polysemy, homonymy, etc. Therefore, keeping these factors in view, it is possible to show how a word is differently pronounced based on parts of speech and meaning, as the following example shows. The examples given in the table shows that some characters, when these are used in formations of words, may deviate from their standard pronunciation. Due to this factor, words change their pronunciation based on different parts of speech and meanings. Furthermore, various lexicosemantic factors become responsible for differences in pronunciation of words in the language. Selection of words for a pronunciation dictionary. To develop a pronunciation dictionary, it is necessary to collect a well-balanced and properly representative lexical database from a language. For this, we can use 6 types of resource: corpus of imaginative texts, corpus of informative texts, corpus of newspaper texts, corpus of informal prose texts, digital lexical databases, other text available in digital form. Since the target is to develop pronunciation dictionary with standard 100,000 words, it is a challenge to select words from the large list of millions of words assembled for these purposes. We can adopt the following criteria for selection of words in the dictionary: single words which show grapheme-phoneme disparities, compound words which exhibit grapheme to phoneme disparities, borrowed words which are naturalized into a language, prefixed and suffixed words, both single words and compound words, which show pronunciation variation. Inflected words should not be lemmatized before inclusion. There may be some limitations in this scheme of lexical selection. A large majority of words may show grapheme to phoneme disparities, as there is hardly 1:1 mapping relationship between a phoneme and a grapheme. These words, by virtue of their pronunciation uniqueness, are entitled to be included in the dictionary. Moreover, the words which exhibit grapheme-phoneme similarities also need to be included in the dictionary so that their pronunciation, usage, parts of speech, and other lexicographical information are available to the end users. Therefore, it is better that words with grapheme-phoneme disparities as well as words with grapheme-phoneme similarities should be included in the dictionary. The selected words should belong to all parts of speech: noun, pronoun, non-finite verb, finite verb, adjective, adverb, postpositions, and indeclinable, although their frequency of usage may not always be uniform in all parts of speech. With regard to etymology, it is better that the final list includes tatsama, tadbhava, desi, and local words. Moreover, words belonging to different etymological antiquities, that is English, Persian, French, Dutch, Arabic, and others, should also be there in the list. Words of foreign origin should be selected as suitable candidates because these are parts of the vocabulary and are naturalized in the regular patterns of standard pronunciations within a language. In the dictionary, all words are stored in Unicode, although their surface forms may be shown in regular language script as well as in Roman script for better orthographic representation, robust computation, and simplified user accessibility. Also, each word should be converted into a single string made with symbols of IPA to make the dictionary user-friendly for those people who do not know the language script. The head word of the lexical database used in the dictionary should be alphabetically sorted out and stored without any discrimination made for single words, compound words, affixed words, derived words, content words, and function words. Thus, the lexical database of the dictionary may be rendered into Unicode-based script for better computation, easy access by both man and machine. Issues of spelling of words. A language may record a large number of words that exhibit variation in spelling. For instance, Bangla has many words that can show how a particular spelling out of many variants may be used in the dictionary. In the given example, here I have selected certain words which show multiple spelling variations and one of the spelling is selected. In such a case, the issue of selecting a particular spelling has to be settled in a sensible manner for the dictionary. To avoid disputes and debates of all kinds, it is better to adopt the spelling proposed by a controlling body, such as the government or the government agencies like universities or academies. Normally, the following factors become responsible in selection of particular spelling. The spelling system has greater acceptability among the native speakers. Spellings proposed by them are in the process of naturalization. Spellings proposed by them are used to prepare textbooks, dictionaries, grammars, teaching aids, and other reference materials used in schools and colleges. Government and its affiliated bodies, colleges and universities use the spelling proposed by these bodies. At certain situations, however, we can consult dictionaries produced by private agencies, individuals, and publication houses. Representation of pronunciation. Since the primary goal of the dictionary is to be maximally authentic in representation of pronunciation of words, all the words should be reproduced in the dictionary in three different manners. Pronunciation of words is to be presented in regular standard orthography. For instance, the words like bondi and kobi should be represented as they are pronounced. Through this kind of representation, the native language users who do not know Roman or IPA will be able to know how these words are to be pronounced with direct reference to the orthography. Second, pronunciation should also be represented in IPA for non-native speakers who do not know the script but are acquainted with IPA. With IPA, they will be able to easily use this dictionary for learning pronunciations of words. Pronunciation represented in IPA will also be useful for those scholars who want to use the dictionary for text-to-speech research and machine learning. Third, pronunciation should also be represented in the form of audio output, keeping in mind the need of those visually challenged language users who are interested to hear the pronunciations of words in spoken form. It can be argued that the three-type representations of pronunciation of words is an appreciable facility for the foreign language learners, native learners, and less educated people, as they can, with the help of the dictionary, read, hear, and imitate pronunciation of the words to acclimatize and adapt the standard patterns of pronunciations of the words in the language. Complexities in pronunciation representation. A complicated feature of language is that the pronunciation of words in the standard colloquial form may vary due to variation in parts of speech and meaning of the word. Due to these factors, variation in pronunciation of words may differ in three broad types, as known as. In type 1, one particular word can have only one part of speech, one meaning, and one pronunciation. In type 2, we get one word, two parts of speech, two meanings, but one pronunciation. In type 3, one word, two parts of speech, two meanings, two pronunciations. Such findings, which can be retrieved from analysis of the lexical lists, may contribute heavily to classify the headwords into three broad categories based on parts of speech and meanings. Also, they can lead us to treat the headwords in three different manners in the dictionary, as the following subsections elucidate. Pronunciation type 1. For some words which show difference between their forms and pronunciation belong to type 1. Here a single word denotes one part of speech, one meaning, and just one pronunciation. Although there is hardly any 1:1 parity between its form and its pronunciation, for example, the word Lakshmi has just one part of speech, that is noun, one meaning, that is goddesses of wealth, and has one pronunciation, Lakshmi. However, there is hardly any parity between its surface form and its pronunciation, because the word medial pronunciation grapheme cluster Kha is normally pronounced as Kha in place of original Ksa. Thus, the word is pronounced as Lokhi and not as Lakshmi. There are large number of words of this type in language, and these words require an elegant strategy for representing their pronunciation in the dictionary. We can use the following technique as represented in the diagram to represent their meanings. The usage of words is shown in the last two lines to show rows where the word is represented in sentence-bound context to provide ideas how the word has to be pronounced within a sentence, taking into consideration of its form, parts of speech and meaning. Moreover, the sentence is rendered in regular English translation for better representations of information related to the head word. Pronunciation type 2. There are also good number of words which may belong to the type 2 pronunciation. Here, a single surface form of a word shows two parts of speech, two meanings, but just one pronunciation. Consider, for instance, the words like Bangla words like kori, boli, pori, diye, etc., which belong to this type. For illustration, let us count the word diye represent one orthographic form, two parts of speech, two meanings, but one pronunciation. The word may be used as a non-finite verb with a meaning something like after giving, as well as indeclinable in the sense of fixing attention. Strikingly, in spite of differences parts of speech, meaning and usage, the word represents just one pronunciation. The method of lexical information presentation for such words is almost same to the technique used for the head words belonging to type 1. The only notable difference is that although such words are marked with two different parts of speech, two different meanings and two different usages, only one pronunciation may be provided for those head words in the dictionary, as the following diagram shows. The method adopted for such words may be also so useful and elegant that almost all the words belong to this type can be rightly represented in the dictionary. Pronunciation type 3. In case of words belonging to type 3, it is necessary to understand how parts of speech and meaning of words can have strong effect on their pronunciations. Consider, for instance, the Bangla word badole, which is pronounced in two different ways in standard Bangla based on its parts of speech and meaning to represent its two different lexical identities, as the following example shows. Se nijeke onekta bodle feleche. He has changed himself a lot. Goynar bodole cash taka nite paran. You can take cash in exchange of ornaments. The morphological information given below shows that the word bodole exhibits two different pronunciations due to variations of parts of speech and meaning. Information set 1. Surface form of the word bodole, base form of the word bodol, suffix part tagged to the word is a, parts of speech of the word non-finite verb, meaning of the word changing, pronunciation of the word is bodle. Second set of information, surface form of the word bodole, base form of the word bodole, suffix part is 0, part of the speech of the word first position, meaning of the word in exchange of, and pronunciation of the word is bodole. The parts of speech and semantic information presented above show that the word bodole in the context-free situation can exhibit two different pronunciations. When it acts as a non-finite verb, it is usually pronounced as bodle, and when it acts as a postposition, it is pronounced as bodole. Other examples of this type are dhare and dhore, pore and pore. Furthermore, the interface provides two useful alternatives which are highly beneficial for recognizing these homographic words, which have one orthographic form, two parts of speech, two meanings, two pronunciation and two usages. For elucidation, let us consider the word hole, which is a homographic word having two different parts of speech and vis-a-vis two different meanings, two pronunciation and two usages. Bhalo cinema hole jete pari, meaning is, if the film is good, I can go. Bhalo cinema hole ami jete pari, if the cinema hall is good, I can go. While the word hole in the above sentence 3 is a homographic form because it has one orthographic form but two different parts of speech, two different meanings, two different pronunciation and two different usages. Which of the two pronunciations will be triggered in the dictionary is interrelated to parts of speech and meaning. It is available to denote in the sentence. The pronunciation of the word will be hole if the word is identified as a non-finite verb that denotes a meaning something like if something is being done. On the other hand, it will be pronounced as hole if it is identified as a noun meaning hall. Thus, it implies that the word is pronounced in the first manner if the first parts of speech and meaning is intended. On the other hand, it is pronounced in the second manner if the second parts of speech and meaning is desired. For those words which are orthographic, which have one orthographic form, two different parts of speech, two different meanings and two different pronunciations and two different usage variations, the interface for representing the pronunciation is a more complex problem which can be shown in the following diagram. The load of information presented for each word in the dictionary is enough to serve the requirements of the speech community as well as the non-native language learners. And due to this service, this dictionary may be treated as a useful linguistic resource that is able to serve various linguistic needs of the learners with proper representation of actual information of words of the language. Information of parts of speech, meaning, pronunciation and usage is previously stored in the central lexical database of the dictionary so that it can be directly accessed to address various word-specific queries of the target dictionary users. With direct utilizations of pronunciation dictionary, the learners will learn how the words should be pronounced in standard and acceptable manner. In the era of online education also, a digital resource of this kind has the potential to improve on the traditional methods of language teaching, where the learners can avail opportunities to learn the standard or the accepted pronunciation of words with direct utilizations of modern computer technology in an interactive fashion with constructive assistance from the language teachers. Through activation of a dialogue-based interactive user interface, learners will know how the words in a language are pronounced in acceptable manner. When the orthography of words hardly matches with their pronunciation, this dictionary will also provide opportunities to the learners to understand how variations in pronunciation are caused due to variations in parts of speech and meanings of words. Within the scheme of non-online education, the dictionary can be equally useful for the non-native and foreign learners as well, for the speakers of different dialect and regional varieties, as they will get good opportunities and exposure to learn that particular pronunciation of words which is considered standard and acceptable in the language. This dictionary is perhaps the first of its kind for most of the Indian languages. It is fully computer assisted with multimedia interface facilities with a regular scope for data upgradation information augmentation, and system modification. It has also facilities for speech output, which can be effectively used in teaching language as the first or the second language. Online language teaching, text-to-speech conversion, language recognition, word recognition, machine learning, machine-aided translation, lexicographic works, word sense disambiguation, and e-governance. This dictionary can also be used to train the linguistically impaired people in recognition and production of standard speech. The immediate beneficiaries of this dictionary are the native language vernacular learners, foreign learners, teachers, text-to-speech system developers, machine translators, system designers, computational lexicographers, language planners, speech pathologists, and descriptive and cognitive linguists. In this present era of language technology, a digital pronunciation dictionary is considered as an indispensable resource in computer-assisted language teachers, and course designers often incorporate this resource into online and offline language education system, where teaching learners about the pronunciation of words is an important part of the system. Such application potentials act as a motivation behind the development of the resource of a language of this kind. The pronunciation dictionary, if compared with the pronunciation dictionaries available in printed form in Indian and foreign languages, invariably differs in its form, content, treatment, and interface as depicted above. A striking deficiency of this pronunciation dictionary may be that it fails to refer to all kinds of pronunciation variations noted in different geographical regions, localities, and countries, as it may not succeed to get an access of these types of pronunciation. But if we can gather adequate amount of information of pronunciation used in these regions, we can adapt the part in the dictionary to make this resource useful across all the borders of time and space. Thank you.